Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. It's 2025 now, which means we are a quarter of the way done with this century, which is just crazy to me to think about. I'm halfway to 50 now, which is again insane to think about. But what I want to do in this video is just talk a little bit about what I did in 2024, how my goals worked out, and then I'm going to talk about my plans and goals and kind of predictions for 2025, what I think I'm gonna be up to, and how I'm gonna meet some of my goals going forward. And then hopefully a year from now, we can look back at this video and see if I reach those goals or not. So I'll start by talking about my language goals. What did I do with language in 2024? So in 2024, I feel like my Chinese actually got a little bit worse, specifically my reading and writing. My speaking and listening might have improved a little bit, but I have had very few opportunities to really read Chinese. All of the Chinese I've been practicing this year has been work related. I've done some movie watching in Chinese. I talked to some friends in Chinese a little bit, but as far as like reading goes and intensive vocabulary practice goes, I've almost done none. But I will say it probably hasn't regressed too much. I have been able to maintain some of that through my current job doing interpreting and translating at TSMC. The second language I worked on in 2024 was Korean, and I actually think my Korean improved a lot last year. I will say my speaking and listening still is pretty bad, but I focused a lot on grammar this year. I think in the fall of 2023, I started Talk to Me in Korean book 2, and then I'm now on book 9. I definitely haven't retained all of that. I went through pretty quickly. I don't think you're supposed to complete the whole series in 1 year, but if you are, I didn't retain all of that, especially the vocabulary. One of my weaknesses, I think, is because I'm focusing so much on grammar right now, which is just something that I'm naturally kind of interested in. I don't really have the vocabulary to practice that grammar after the fact. Next, I want to talk about just life stuff and travel stuff that I did in 2024. So as I mentioned earlier, I moved to Phoenix and I'm working at TSMC now. I've been doing interpreting and translating for them since last January. And it was kind of a rough start here because I moved here alone and I don't really have many friends here, but I've kind of gotten used to it and I've had chances to travel a bit. I was able to go to Mexico in the spring with one of my friends that I've met in Taiwan. And then also my girlfriend came to Phoenix and we went to Ohio together and we went to California. You can also see a vlog of mine when I went to Mexico, and then when I went to Ohio, I tattooed myself and some of my friends. So if you haven't seen those videos, check those out. I also got to go to Joshua Tree and the Grand Canyon and Las Vegas. Did a lot of cool travel stuff in the spring and summer this year. And then speaking of tattooing, I also started tattooing this year. If you haven't seen my most recent video, I think it's my most recent one, I did a video about my progress throughout this year with tattooing. You can see examples of fake skin tattoos that I did when I started and then more recent ones as well. You can also see the tattoos that I've done on myself. Definitely check out those other videos if you're interested in tattooing. Another thing which I'm happy about is I've been in the gym more. A few years ago, I was really underweight. I forget exactly how much I weighed when I kind of stopped growing. I'm around 6 foot tall, like 180 centimeters. And I think I was like 140 or something like that when I reached that height. And I'm now at 185, which is great. I'm much healthier now. And we'll talk more about my fitness goals in a second too. The last thing I want to talk about with 2024 is YouTube. I believe I doubled my subscriber count. I had a few videos with over 1,000 views, and I'm super thankful for that. I hope this channel continues to grow in the next year as well. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. All right, so that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about with 2024. Now let's move on to my goals and predictions for 2025. So I'm gonna do the same thing in the same order, except now my goals. Let's start with Chinese. Like I said, I wanna work on reading and writing, so I'm gonna focus on vocabulary pretty intensively this year. I probably should do some more advanced grammar, but I'm gonna focus mostly on vocab. The way I plan on doing this is just by reading more. I want to read the news in Chinese, which is something I've done previously, but I kind of got out of the habit of doing. And I actually want to read a few books in Chinese. So if you're a Chinese speaker or you've read some books by Chinese authors, let me know. I'd love to see what you guys are into. And I'm not really in that Chinese literature world, and I don't really know many famous Chinese authors. So again, if you have any recommendations, just let me know down below. If you don't know what Sefer levels are, I think I'll do a video about that in the future, so subscribe to check that out. But basically, the highest level is C2, and then it's C1, B2, B1, A2, A1, and A1's like just starting language, and then C2 is like as good as a native speaker. My Chinese is probably at a low to mid C1 right now, and I just want to move closer to C2. I don't think I'll get to C2 this year. That's a really hard target to reach. I think it'll take me a couple more years, but I just want to move a little bit closer to that and build my vocabulary. With Korean, my goal is actually to get to a B1. I think that's doable. It's just going to take a lot of speaking and listening practice for me. So that's going to be talking to my girlfriend more in Korean, watching more Korean shows, speaking to myself in Korean, and hopefully I can get the vocabulary to practice that grammar that I was talking about earlier. So the next thing might surprise some people who know me personally. The other language I want to focus on is Spanish. Now, many friends and family know that when I was around 16 or 17, I had this goal that I gave myself. I wanted to learn 5 languages, including English, by the time I'm 30. And like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I'm already 25, so that timeline is getting shorter and shorter. So I want to start my 4th language. I think my 5th language will be Japanese. Spanish and Japanese I both studied before, but Spanish I studied for like 3 years in high school, and Japanese I did for 1 year with a language exchange partner when I was in Taiwan, and I've forgotten a lot of it. So even though I know a lot about the languages themselves, I can't actually speak them or understand them very well. So I'm gonna start with focusing on Spanish a little bit, but I'm still gonna prioritize Chinese and Korean. So hopefully I can maintain that little Spanish that I have and maybe learn a little bit more. With Spanish, I don't have a goal on what specific level I'm trying to reach yet though. But that's about it for language. The next thing I want to talk about is, again, just life and travel goals. I'm still not exactly sure when or if I'm moving back to Taiwan, but I'll definitely go back to Taiwan this spring, hopefully March or April, and I'll go to Korea when I go there too. I'm just not sure yet if that's going to be a permanent move or just a short travel trip. That'll depend on my work situation and my visa, so we'll see. I'll keep you all updated on the channel. In addition to going to Taiwan and Korea this year, I want to keep this streak going that I have of going to a new country every year. In 2023, I went to Japan for the first time, and then last year I went to Mexico for the first time. So next year, or this year, sorry, I think I'm going to go to Mongolia. If not, maybe Southeast Asia. I've been really interested in Mongolian culture, and I love Mongolian throat singing. I think it's the coolest thing ever. So I really hope I can get the chance to go to Mongolia this year. It's also not too far from Taiwan and Korea, so hopefully I get to go. And then with tattooing, I mentioned this in the last video, but I know I have some things I need to improve on with tattooing, like coloring and shading, and then just consistency with lines. I've gotten a lot better, but I still don't have that perfect consistency that I'm trying to get. I know nobody's perfect, but I just want to get as close to perfection as possible with those tattoos. And then also in that same art realm, earlier last year I kind of started oil painting, but I got distracted with tattooing. So hopefully this year I can make some more room for traditional art like sketching, drawing, and painting. Those are things that I really struggle with, so I hope I can have some time to practice those this year. And then also with tattoos, I'm hoping to get some tattoos by other professional tattoo artists done on me. If I move back to Taiwan this year, I might try to get a sleeve done there. I have a few ideas already, so hopefully I'll get some actual artwork on my body this year. And then for gym goals, I want to continue to gain weight. I'm trying to bulk up just a little bit more. My goal is at least 200 pounds by March, so that'll give me around 3 months. If I can get closer to like 210, that'd be even better. So I have about 3 months to gain 15 plus pounds of weight. Shouldn't be too hard as long as I stay consistent with that. And I have been doing that for the past few months, so I don't think it should be too much of a problem for me. After I get to that weight goal, then I'll probably start to cut back down to where I'm at now, around 185, 190. All right, and the last thing I want to talk about is my YouTube channel. I've been semi-consistent with getting a video out every week or every 2 weeks for the past couple months. I know I'm not perfect at it, but that's something I really want to try to do this year, is get more consistent. Maybe if I'm even more consistent and confident with YouTube towards the end of the year, I can get 2 videos a week or something like that. Of course, it depends on what's going on in my life, work, and how busy I am with other stuff, but I want to get more consistent with that because I hope I can again double my subscriber count. My goal for this year is around 500. So let's see a year from now if I actually reach that goal. Another thing I want to try to do is more short form content. So follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. I'll try to do more stuff on there. Well, thanks so much for watching. I hope I reach these goals this year. Help keep me motivated in the comments below. Check me out on Instagram and TikTok. Leave me comments there. Keep me motivated. I'll be trying my best, and I'll definitely keep everyone as updated as I can on this channel. If you have any questions about how I plan to reach my goals, or if you want to share your goals for this year, let me know down below. I'd love to hear those. Thanks for watching again, and hope to see you in the next one. Peace.